We are in Rodehaver Auditorium, a 2,600-seat proscenium theater that lies in the center of the campus of Bob Jones University. This stage has housed a long and beloved tradition of staging classic Shakespearean tales. In fact, this year marks the 12th time that Bob Jones University has staged Hamlet. We're distinctive here in that we seek to glorify our Savior's name in all that we do as we explore the beauty of God's creation. Hello, my name is Paul Radford, a member of the communication faculty and director of this year's Hamlet production. Let me give welcome to alumni, family, friends, and anyone else who is watching tonight. Please come and visit our campus. Perhaps you can plan a visit around a production on this stage. Next year's season will include a musical version of Little Women, Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, and our unique living gallery production on Easter weekend. If you're in high school, come to one of our edu camps this summer. We have camps in music, art, and drama. In fact, 1 week will be entirely devoted to performing Shakespeare, and you'll be working with some of the same actors you'll see tonight. More information and a full list of camps is available at bju.edu/summercamps. At Bob Jones University, our performing arts students discuss the intersection of their faith and the arts in our classrooms. They also have the opportunity to actualize these theories on our stages by taking part in large-scale productions such as the one you'll see tonight. Our theater and music departments offer a wide variety of opportunities for students to practice and hone their skills in our orchestra, bands, and choirs, as well as taking part in grand operas, the staging of classic literature on our large stage, and more experimental theater on smaller stages. This evening, you'll see both faculty and student actors, including 4 theater arts faculty members. All semester, our theater students have been taught by some of the same instructors with whom they are now sharing the stage. Tonight, all the music you hear was written for this production by one of our theater arts students, Colton Beach. Not all our student performers are theater arts majors. Graphic design, Bible, communication, and other majors are also represented. In the 1987 Classic Players production of Hamlet, Ron Pyle played the lead role. Tonight you'll see him triple cast as the ghost and 2 other characters. In 2005, Jeffrey Stegall played Hamlet, and in this year's production, he plays the role of Polonius. And I know you'll enjoy tonight's performance as David Schwingle portrays the part of Hamlet. It seems fitting that on the day that marks the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death, that we perform this classic tale of revenge and reflection. As all others have moved on, a son continues to mourn the untimely loss of his father when he encounters a visitor from the grave. This is The Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark.
Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king!
Bernardo,
He.
you come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet, guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who's there?
Friends to this ground.
And liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Oh, farewell, honest soldier. Who has relieved you?
Bernardo has my place. Give you good night.
Hola, Bernardo.
Say what? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight, twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again this apparition comes, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Tush, tush. 'Twill not appear.
Sit down a while, and let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, which we have 2 nights seen. Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one,
Peace! Break thee off! Ah! See where it comes again?
in the same image, like the king that's dead!
If thou art a scholar, speak to it, Horatio!
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio!
Most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Speak to it, Horatio!
What art thou that usurpst this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away!
Speak, speak, stay and speak!
'Tis gone, and will not answer.
How now, Horatio? You tremble and look pale. Is not this something more than fantasy? What think you on it?
Before my God, I might not believe it were it not for the true and sensible avouch of mine own eyes.
Is it not like the king?
As thou art to thyself. Such was the very armor he had on when he the ambitious Norway combated. 'Tis strange. In the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good, now sit down and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land. Who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least, the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even now appeared before us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway dared to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact well ratified by law and heraldry did forfeit with his life all those his lands which he stood seized of to the conqueror. Now, sir, young Fortinbras, of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes to recover of us those foresaid lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the source of this our watch. But soft, behold, lo, where it comes again! I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion! If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease, and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which haply foreknowing may avoid, oh, speak. Or if thou hast abhorred in thy life extorted treasures in the womb of earth, for which they say, you spirits oft walk in death, speak of it. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
Oh, shall I strike at it with my partisan?
Silver will not stand. 'Tis here. What's his here?
'Tis gone, and will not answer. We do it wrong, being so majestical, to offer it this show of violence, for it is as the air invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started, like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. But look, the morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we up our watch, and let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit dumb to us will speak to him. Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us be fitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we in wisest sorrow think on him together with remembrance for ourselves. Therefore our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with an auspicious and a dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. Now follows that you know, young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death our state to be disjoint and out of frame, colleagued with the dream of his advantage, he hath not failed to pester us with message, demanding the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bonds of law to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Now for ourselves, and for this time of meeting. Thus much the business is. We have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, to suppress his nephew's purpose. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Volterman, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In that in all things we will show our duty.
We doubted nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit, Laertes. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dread lord, your leave and favor to return to France.
Have you your father's leave?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laborsome petition, and at last upon his will I sealed my hard consent. I pray you give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes, time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. Come away, all. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
A little more than kin, and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much i' the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy knighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay. It is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor windy suspiration of forced breath, no, nor the fruitful river in the eye, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me. Truly these indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play. But I have that within which passeth show, these but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But to persevere in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. It shows a will most incorrect to heaven. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as yourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart. Come away.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his canon 'gainst self-slaughter. God, how weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seems to me all the uses of this world. Fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not to so excellent a king, that was to this Hyperion, to a satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face. Too roughly heaven and earth must I remember why she would hang on him, as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month, let me not think, God, frailty, thy name is woman, a little month ere yet those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body, like Niobe, all tears, why she, even a beast that wants discourse of reason, would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules, within a month, ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart. For I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship!
I'm glad to see you well. Horatio? I do forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. But what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus!
My good lord.
Very glad to see you. Good even, sir. But what in faith make you from Wittenberg?
A truant disposition, good my lord.
I would not hear your enemies say so. I know you are no truant, but what is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I prithee, fellow student, do not mock me. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Would I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father, methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
I was a man. Take him for all in all, I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father.
The king, my father. Let me hear.
2 nights together have these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, in their watch, in the dead vast in middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure, like your father, appears before them. My lord, I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
Oh, yes, my lord, but answer made it none.
'Tis very strange.
Upon my life, my honored lord, 'tis true, and we did think it writ down in our duty to tell you of it.
Indeed, sirs. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight.
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My lord, from head to foot.
Then saw you not his face.
Oh, yes, my lord.
What looked he? Frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
Would I had been there.
It would have most amazed you.
Very like. Stayed it long?
As one with moderate haste might tell 100.
Oh, longer.
Longer.
Not when I saw it.
His beard was grizzled, no?
It was as I have seen it in his life, a sable silvered.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. So, fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty
To
to
your
your
honor.
honor.
Your loves is mine to you. Farewell. my father's spirit in arms, all is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come! Till then, sit still, my soul, foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them, to men's eyes.
Laertes!
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit, and convoy as assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion, and a toy in blood. A violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting. The perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but
Think
so.
it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor coddle doth besmirch the virtue of his will. But you must fear, his greatness weighed, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself. For on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard, aboard for shame! The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing on thee. And these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it, that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit, as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia. And remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is't, Ophelia, he hath said to you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affections. Pah! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
I will teach you. Think yourself a baby that you have ta'en his tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phrase running at us, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to. Be something scanter of your maiden presence. Set your entreatments at a higher rate. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you, come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed. And it draws near the season in which the spirit held its wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse. Keeps wassail.
Look, my lord.
It comes!
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, hearsed in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly inert hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean that thou, dead corse, again in complete steel revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we, fools of nature, so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls? Say, why is this? Wherefore? What should we do?
It beckons you to go away with it, as if it's some apartment to desire to you alone.
See with what a courteous action it waves you to a more removed ground. But do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak, then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What should be the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee, and for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again. Go on. I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold off your hands.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out. Still am I called. Unhand me, gentlemen, by heaven. I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say, away. Go on. I'll follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak. I'll go no further.
Mark me.
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear.
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and in the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. List, list, oh list! If thou didst ever thy dear father love, Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder most foul is in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation, or thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt. Now, Hamlet, here. 'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me. So the whole ear of Denmark is by a forged process of my death rankly abused. But know thou, noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, won to his shameful lust the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand in with the vow I made to her in marriage, and to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But soft, methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be, sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon. Upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed poison in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment. So was I, sleeping, by a brother's hand, of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched, cut off even the blossoms of my sin. No reckoning made, sent to my accounts with all my imperfections on my head.
Oh, horrible, oh, horrible.
Most horrible! If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns which in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. The glowworm shows the matin to be near, and begins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu. 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 Remember me!
All you host of heaven. Earth. What else? And shall I? Couple, hell? Hold my heart, and you my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up, remember thee. Aye, thou poor ghost, whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee, yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial, fond records, all saws of books, all forms and pressures past that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter, yes, by heaven. Most pernicious woman, villain, smiling, damned villain, my tables. Meet it is, I set it down that one may smile, and be a villain, at least I am sure. It may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now, to my word, it is adieu. Adieu, remember me. I have sworn.
Lord!
So be it.
Heaven securing. How is my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Wonderful.
Well, good, my lord, tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
No, my lord, by heaven.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret.
By heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark, but he's an errant knave.
There needs, my lord, no ghost come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right, you are in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands in part. You as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desire, such as it is. And for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
Sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick! But there is, Horatio, and much offense too, touching this vision here. It is an honest ghost. That, let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now, good friends, as you are friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We've sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed. Swear. Aha, boy! Sayest thou so? Art thou there, true penny? Come on, you hear this fellow in the cellarage. Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword. Swear. Ah, hic et ubique, then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword. Swear. Ah, well said, old mole. Canst work of the earth so fast. A worthy pioneer. Once more remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night, but this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come, here as before, never so help you mercy. How strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I, perchance, hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such times, seeing me, never shall with arms encumbered thus, or this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase to note that you know aught of me. This do swear, so grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear. Rest, rest, perturbed spirit.
I swear.
I swear.
So, gentlemen, with all my love I do commend me to you, and what so poor a man as Hamlet is may do to express his love and friending to you, God willing, shall not lack. Come, let us go in together, and still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right.
Give him his money and these notes, Rinaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Rinaldo, before you visit him to make enquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Take as it were some distant knowledge of him, as thus, I know his father and friends, and impart him. Do you mark this, Rinaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And impart him, but, you may say, not well. But if it be he I mean, he's very wild, addicted, so-and-so. And there put on him what forgeries you please.
As gaming, my lord?
Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing. What was I about to say? I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
Drinking, fencing, swearing?
Fencing, swearing, quarreling. You may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Breathe his faults so quaintly that they may seem the taints of liberty.
But, my good lord.
Wherefore should you do this?
I, my lord, I would know that.
Here's my drift. You laying these slight sullies on my son, he closes in this consequence. Good sir, or so, or friend, or gentleman, I saw him enter such a house of sale, a brothel, and so forth. So you now your bait of falsehood takes his carp of truth. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you, fare you well.
Good, my lord.
Observe his inclination in yourself,
I shall, my lord.
and let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
My lord,
How now, Ophelia, what's the matter?
my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love.
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as though he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head o'er his shoulder turned, he seemed to make his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their helps, and to the last bended their light on me.
What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. Come, go we to the king. This must be known, which being kept close might move more grief to hide than hate to utter love. Come!
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? What it should be more than his father's death, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies, to draw him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that open lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you. And sure I am two men, there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us here a while, for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Oh, well, both your majesties might, by the sovereign powers you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our services freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned. Old Norway sent out tidings to suppress his nephew's levies against your highness. Fortinbras, in brief, obeys, receives rebuke, and makes vow before his uncle never more to give the assay of arms against your majesty, wherein old Norway, overcome with joy, gives him 3,000 crowns in annual fee, and his commission to employ those soldiers, so levied before, against the Polak, with an entreaty herein further shown, that it might please you to give quiet pass through your dominions for this enterprise, on such regards of safety and allowance as therein are set down.
It likes us well.
And I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our or hasty marriage.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why day is day, night, night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness, what is't but be nothing else but mad, but let that go.
More matter with less art?
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. But he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. Mad let us grant him then. And now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect. Perpend. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience hath given me this. Now gather and surmise.
To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beatified Ophelia.
That's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beatified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful.
Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love.
Oh, Ophelia, I have not art to reckon my groans, but that I love thee best. Oh, most best believe it. Adieu. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him, Hamlet.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so. But what might you think? Or my majesty, your dear queen here think? If I had looked upon this love with idle sight? No, I went round to work. And my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy sight. This must not be. And he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then to a fast, thence to a watch, thence to a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be very like.
Hath there been such a time? I'd fain know that I have positively said 'tis so when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise.
But look, where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you both away. I'll board him presently. Give me leave. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well?
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent well. You are a fishmonger?
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
Aye, sir. To be honest as this world goes is to be one man, picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a good kissing carrion. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but as your daughter may conceive, friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. Said I was a fishmonger. He's far gone. Far gone. But truly in my youth I suffered much extremity for love, very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir, for the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most we cams, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For yourself, sir, should grow old as I am, if like a crab, you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. I will leave him and suddenly contrive the means of meeting with him and my daughter. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything I will not more willingly part withal, except my life. Except my life. Except my life.
Farewell, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet? There he is.
God save you, sir.
My excellent good friends. How dost thou, Guildenstern, huh? Rosencrantz, good lads.
My most dear lord.
How do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy, in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe. What news?
None, my lord. But that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
Well, to visit you, my lord, no other reason.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you not sent for? Was it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
Oh, well, to what end, my lord?
That you must teach me, but let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship. Be even and direct with me whether you were sent for or no.
Well, what say you?
If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire, why it appeareth nothing to me, but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel in action, apprehension, how like a god, the beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me. No, nor woman neither, though by your smiles you seem to say so.
Oh, my lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said, man delights not me?
Oh, well, my lord, to think if you delight not in man, what once in entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coted them on the way, and hither they are coming.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. What players are there?
Even those you used to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
There are the players.
Masters, you are welcome. Your hands, come then. You are welcome to Elsinore, but my uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived.
In what, my lord?
I am but mad. North, northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
The actors are come hither,
Ah,
my lord.
buzz!
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral. Scene individable or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy. Or Plautus too light. For the law of writ and the liberty, these are the only men.
Oh, Jephthah, judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou. Masters, you are welcome. I'm glad to see you well. Welcome, good friend. What, my old friend? Why, thy face is valanced since I saw thee last. Comes out of beard me in Denmark. What? My young lady and mistress. By'r Lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last. Pray heaven, your voice like a piece of uncurrent gold be not cracked within the ring. Masters, you are welcome. We'll have a speech, straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, not above once, for the play I remember pleased not the million. 'Twas caviar to the general. One speech in I chiefly loved 'twas Aeneas' tale to Dido. And thereabout of it, especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. 'Tis not so.
No.
It begins with Pyrrhus. The rugged Pyrrhus.
Sable arm.
The rugged Pyrrhus. He whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot now is he total jewels, horridly tricked with blood of fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, baked and impasted with the parching streets that lended tyrannous and damned light to the Lord's murder, roasted in wrath and fire, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles. The hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam, seeks. So proceed you.
Well spoken, my lord, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon he finds him striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, enraged strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and like a fork to his will and matter did nothing.
Did nothing.
But after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him to a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor forged for proof return with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam. Out, thou strumpet fortune! All you gods in general synod, take away her power, break all the spokes and fellies from her wheel, bowl the round nave down the hill of heaven, as deep as to the fiends.
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard, prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
But who had seen the Moblid Queen?
The Moblid Queen.
That's good. Moblid Queen is good.
run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with blinding tears. A rag upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all o'er teemed loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue and venom steeped 'gainst fortune's state, would treason have pronounced. For if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made moist the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look where he has not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. I pray you no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. Good my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of a time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them after their desert.
Oh, man, much better! Use every man after his desert, and who shall scape whipping?
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Do you know the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
Well, hat tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in. Could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord. And look you, mock him not. Gentlemen, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore. Come then.
Good, my lord.
And so goodbye to you. Now I am alone. Oh. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him? Or he to Hecuba? That he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty, appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze, indeed, the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak, like John of Dreams, I'm pregnant of my cause, and can say nothing, no. Not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made? Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tricks me by the nose, gives me the lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs? Who does me this? I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this I should have fattened all the reaching kites with this slave's awful, bloody body, villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, vile foe, about my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks, I'll tend him to the quick. If I do blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me, to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you by no drift of circumstance get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Did you assay him to any pastime?
Well, my lord, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought along the way, of these we told him, and there seemed to be in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I believe they have orders this night to play before him.
'Tis most true. He did beseech me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Ophelia, we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront you. Your father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of your encounter frankly judge, and gather, as he is behaved, if it be at the affliction of his love, or no, that thus he suffers for.
Ophelia, walk you here. Read on this book that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say, we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of? Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. Soft you now. The fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered?
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you well. Well. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Ha! Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty have better commerce than with honesty?
I truly, with the power of beauty, will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself. Indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things. It were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, with more offenses at my beck than I have thoughts to put them into, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What should such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your father?
At home, my lord.
Then let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heaven!
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not scape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or, if thou wilt needs marry a fool. Oh, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery. Go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heaven!
I have heard of your paintings too, well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourself another. You jig, and you amble, and you lisp, and you nickname God's creatures, and you make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'll no more on't. It hath made me mad. I say, we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Love His affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood. Set it down, he shall with speed to England. Haply the seas and countries, different with variable objects, shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you on't?
It shall do well. And now, Ophelia, you need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. Lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him. I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their confronts. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on my tongue, but if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. No, do not saw the air too much with your hand thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Ah, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. It out-Herods Herod. Pray you avoid it.
I warrant your honor.
Be not too tame, neither. But let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so o'erdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure. Go, make you ready. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. What ho, Horatio!
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as e'er my conversation coped withal.
My dear lord,
Nay, do not think I flatter. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core, in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I have told you of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe mine uncle, if his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. Give him heedful note, for mine eye will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and escape detecting, I will pay the debt.
They are coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, if faith of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air. Promise, crammed. You cannot feed capons, so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord! You played once at the university, you say?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed in the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
Ah, it was a brute part of him to Kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
Aye, my lord, they stay upon your patience.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No. Good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
You are merry, my lord.
Who, I?
I, my lord.
You're only jig maker. For what should a man do but be merry? For look you, how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Oh, nay, then let the devil wear black. I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Why, there's hope a great man's memory may outlive his life half a year.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or the posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love?
Full 30 times hath Phoebus' cart gone round, Neptune's salt wash, and Tellus' orbit ground, and 30 dozen moons with borrowed sheen about the world if times 1230's been. Since love our hearts, and Hymen did our hands unite commutual in most sacred bands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er, ere love be done. But woe is me! You are so sick of late, so far from cheer, and from your former state, that I distrust you.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do. And thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one as kind for husband shalt thou—
Confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first.
Wormwood, wormwood.
A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine, oft we break. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while. My spirit grows dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep, rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Ah, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in't?
No, no offense. They do but jest, poison in jest. No offense to the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Very. How tropically. The play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. The Duke's Gonzago. His wife, Baptista. You shall see it on. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty and we that have free souls, it touches us not. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
Begin, murderer. Leave thy damnable faces and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hicade's bane thrice blasted, thrice infected. thy natural magic and dire property, on wholesome life usurped immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago. The play is extant and written in very choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises!
What? Frightened with false fire?
How fares my lord?
Give o'er the play!
Give me some light! Away!
Lights! 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 What? Frightened with false fire?
How fares my lord?
Give o'er the play!
Give me some light! Away!
Lights! 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 Why let the stricken deer go weep? The heart ungalled play. For some must watch while some must sleep. So runs the world away. Ah! Good ratio. I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Aha! Come some music. Come the recorders. For if the king like not the comedy. Come, some music.
Would my lord vouchsafe me a word with you?
Sir, a whole history. I'm tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
My mother, you say?
Your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration? Impart.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do, still, by these pickers and stealers.
Good, my lord, what is the cause of this distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friends.
Sir, I lack advancement.
Well, how can that be when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
The recorder. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me, as if you would drive me into a toil?
My lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumbs. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But to these I cannot command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now. How unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? Do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, yet you cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in shape of a camel?
'Tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel?
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a veil?
very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bed. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. "'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now, could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on? Soft now! To my mother, O heart, lose not thy nature. Let not ever the soul of Nero enter this firm bosom. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. My tongue and soul in this be hypocrites. How in my words soever she be shent to give them seals, never my soul consent."
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. I your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so dangerous as doth hourly grow out of his lunacies. Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage, for we will fetters put upon this fear which now goes too free-footed. My offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal elder's curse upon't, a brother's murder. Pray can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. And like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. What of this hand? Were thicker than itself with brother's blood. Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be. For I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense. What then? What rest? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Wretched state! Oh, bosom black as death, O limed soul, that struggling to be free art more engaged. Help, angels, make us say. Bow stubborn knees and heart with strings of steel. Be soft as sinews of the newborn babe, all may be well.
Now, might I do it? Pat. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so am I revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, to this same villain, send to heaven? Why, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his whole, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up sword, and know thou a more horrid hint when he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in't. Then trip him that his heels may kick at heaven, and his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up, my thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look, you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and him. I'll sconce me even here.
Mother.
Pray you be round with him.
I'll warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw. I hear him coming.
Mother! Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, how now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay then, I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come, and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What would you do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help!
What?
Help!
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 How now?
Help!
A rat? Dead for a ducat! Dead!
Oh, me!
I am slain!
What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king!
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom have not brassed it so, that it be proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths.
Ay me! What act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look here, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See, what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself. And I, like Mars, to threaten and command, a combination and a form, indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you, now, what follows? Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you from this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Huh? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. For at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Ah! Shame! Where is thy blush?
Speak no more. Thou turn'st mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grieved spots as will leave there their taint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption.
Speak no more. These words like daggers enter in mine
A
ears.
murderer
No more, sweet Hamlet.
and a vice of kings, a cutpurse of the empire, and the rule that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket. A king of shreds and patches.
No more, sweet Hamlet.
Save me, and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide? That lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say!
Do not forget. This visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest bodies, strongest works. Now speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse. O gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereupon do you look?
On him. On him, look you, how pale he glares. Did you see nothing here?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Nor did you nothing hear?
No, nothing. This is the very coinage of your brain.
It is not madness that I have uttered. Mother, for love of mercy, lay not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it, and live the purer with the other half. Mother, good night, but go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Once more, good night. And when you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For this same Lord I do repent, though heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this and this with me, that I should be their scourge and minister, I will bestow him and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins and worse remains behind. I must to England. You know that.
Oh, alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders, fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. This man shall set me packing. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
There's matter in these sighs, these profound heaves. You must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them. Where is your son?
Bestow this place on us a little while. Ah, my good lord, what have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad as the sea and wind when both contend which is the mightier. In his lawless fit behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his dagger, cries, "A rat! A rat!" and in his brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Ah, heavy deed! It had been so with us had we been there. Where is he gone? His liberty is full of threats to all.
To draw apart the body he hath killed.
Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence, and this vile deed we must with all our majesty and skill both countenance and excuse. Ho, Guildenstern! Friends, both, go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go, seek him out, I pray you hasten this. Gertrude, we'll call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose? Yet he's loved of the distracted multitude. And where 'tis so, the offender's scourge is weighed, but never the offense. To bear all smooth and even, the sudden sending him away must seem deliberate pause. Diseases desperate grown by desperate appliance are relieved or not at all. Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he eats, but where he is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are in atom. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. You fat king, and your lean beggar is but variable service, 2 dishes, but to 1 table, that's the end.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with a worm that hath ate of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius?
In heaven. Send hither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. Woo! But if you find him not within this month, you shall nurse him as you go up the stairs into the lobby.
Go seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety which we do tender must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The bark is ready and the wind at help. The associates tend and everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So it is, if thou knewest our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother. But come, for England.
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed aboard. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Away! For everything is sealed and done that else leans on the affair. Pray you, make haste! And England, if thou holdest my love at aught, thou mayest not coldly see our sovereign process, which imports at full by letters congruing to it the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England! For like the hectic in my blood, he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
Go, Captain. From me greet the Danish king. Tell him that by his license, Fortinbras craves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom.
I will do it, my lord.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
How purposed, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland. We go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats. 5, I would not farm it.
Who commands them, sir?
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras. God be with you, sir.
Well, please you go, my lord.
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before. How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and object of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse, looking before and after, gave us not that capability and God-like reason to fust in us unused? Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, a thought which quartered hath but 1 part wisdom, and ever 3 parts coward, I do not know why yet I live to say, this thing's to do, sith I have cause, and will, and strength, and means to do it. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a tender and delicate prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly, to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then that have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, whilst, to my shame, I see the imminent death of 20,000 men, who for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain. From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father. Says she hears there's tricks in the world, and hems and beats her heart, spurns enviously at straws, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move her hearers to collection. They aim at it and botch it up fit to their own thoughts, which as her winks and nods and gestures yield them, indeed would make one think there might be thought, though nothing sure, yet much unhappily.
'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in. To my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some great amiss. So full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff and his sandal shoon.
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Say you? Nay, pray you mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turf, at his heels a stone.
Nay,
pray you mark! white to shroud his nerves in snow. Guarded all with sweet flowers which be to the grave. Did
Alas,
not
look here, my lord.
Showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God yield you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Lord, we know what we are, but not what we may be. God be at your table.
Brooding upon her father.
Let's have no more words of this! But when they ask you what it means, say you this: tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine.
Pretty Ophelia.
And I am made at your window. Fie, for shame you are to blame! You promised me to wed!
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but weep to think they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. My coach, good night. Good night, sweet lady, good night. Good night.
Ah, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions.
Alack, what noise is this?
Where are my men? Let them guard the door. What is the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The ocean, overpeering of its list, eats not the flats with more impetuous haste than young Laertes in a riotous head o'erbears your officers. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Caps, hands, and tongues are clotted to the clouds. Laertes shall be king. Laertes king.
Oh, thou vile king! Give me my father!
Calmly, good Laertes!
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard, cries cuckold to my father, brands the harlot even here between the chaste, unsmirched brow of my true mother.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Tell me, Laertes, why thou art thus incensed. Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance, vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand. Let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most throughly for my father.
I am guiltless of your father's death, and am most sensible in grief for it.
Oh, now, what noise is that?
And at his head rained many a tear.
Dear maid,
Fare you well, my dove.
kind sister, sweet Ophelia.
There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. There's pansies. That's for thoughts. There's fennel. And columbines. Here's rue for you. And here is some for me. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end.
Thought and affliction, passion, hell itself, she turns the favor into prettiness.
Come again, and will I not come again? No, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He is gone. He is gone. And we cast away a moan. God have mercy on his soul. And on all Christian souls. God be with you.
you see this, oh God?
Laertes, I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Be you content to lend your patience to us, and we will jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no trophy, sword, nor hatchment o'er his bones, no noble rite, nor formal ostentation cry to be heard, as 'twere from heaven to earth that I must call it in question.
So you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall. Now must your conscience my acquittance seal, and you must put me in your heart for friend.
Tell me, why you proceeded not against these feats, so criminal and so capital in nature?
For two special reasons, which may to you perhaps seem much unsinewed, but yet to me they are strong. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks, and for myself she's so conjunctive to my life and soul, that as the star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive why to a public count I might not go is the great love the general gender bear him.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms, whose worth, if praises may go back again, stood challenger on mount of all the age for her perfections. But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that. You must not think we are made of stuff so flat and dull that we can let our beard be shook with danger and think it pastime. How now, what news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet.
From Hamlet?
This to your majesty, this to the queen.
Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord, they say. I saw them not.
You shall hear them, Laertes. Leave us. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall first ask in your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet, what should this mean? Are all the rest come back, or is there some abuse and knoweth such thing?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character. And in a postscript here he says alone, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not o'errule me to a peace.
I will work Hamlet to an exploit now ripe in my device, under the which he shall not choose but fall, and for his death no wind of blame shall breathe, but even his mother shall uncharge the practice and call it accident.
My lord, I will be ruled. The rather, if you could devise it so that I might be the organ.
It falls right. 2 months since, here was a man from Normandy who gave you such a masterly report for art and exercise in your defense, and for your sword, most especial, that he cried out 'twould be a sight indeed if one could match you. Sir, this report of his did Hamlet so envenom with his envy, that he could nothing do but wish and beg your sudden coming o'er to play with you. Now, out of this...
What out of this, my lord?
But stay, what noise is this?
One woe doth tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh. Where?
There is a willow, grows aslant a brook that shows his hoary leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands did she make of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. Our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant boughs, her crowned weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or as a creature native and endued unto that element. but long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech that fain would blaze, but that this folly drowns it.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. I pray you, come with me.
In youth, when I did love, me thought was very sweet. Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is, therefore make a grave straight. The crowner sat on her and finds a Christian burial.
And how can that be, lest she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
God must be, say, offendendo, huh? Cannot be else. Here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. An act hath 3 branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argyle, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good
Give
men,
me leave. Huh? Here lies the water. Good.
Good.
Here stands the man. Good.
Good.
Now, if the man go to this water and drown himself, it is willy-nilly he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argyle, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
I marry is crowner's quest law. Got my spade. I'll put a question to thee, and if thou answerest not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Ha! The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to him that does ill. And thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argyle, the gallows may do well to thee. Come on, do it.
Who builds stronger than the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
Aye, tell me that, and unyoke.
every now I can tell.
To it.
I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it. And when you were asked this question next, say, the grave maker, the house that he makes lasts till doomsday. In youth, when I did love, methought was very sweet.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it in him a property of easiness.
'Tis e'en so. That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground.
Pickaxe and a spade, or and a shrouding sheet. Whoa! A pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest as me.
Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Whoa! A pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest as me.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in't.
You lie out on, sir, therefore it is not yours. For my own part, I do not lie in't, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in't. To be in't and say it is thine, 'tis for the dead, not the quick. Therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none, neither.
Who is to be buried in't?
She that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How long hast thou been grave maker?
I came to it the very day our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Any fool can tell that. 'Twas the very day young Hamlet was born, he that is mad and sent to England.
Aye. Why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, it's no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Why, even with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Well, here, in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, for 30 years.
How long will a man lie the earth ere he rot?
Oh, faith, if he be not rotten before he die, he will last you some 8, 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 years.
Why he more than another?
Oh, why, sir, his hide, so tanned with his trade, he will keep out water a great while. And water is your sore decay of your horse and dead body. This skull, sir.
Huh?
This skull hath lain in the earth for 23 years.
Whose was it?
Horse and mad fellows it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, King's jester.
This?
Ain't that?
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now, how abhorred in my imagination it is, my gorge rises at it. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked to this fashion of the earth?
E'en so.
And smelt so?
E'en so, my lord. Oh.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio. But soft, here comes the king.
What ceremony else? What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful, and but that great command o'ersways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet. For charitable prayers, shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown on her. Yet here she's allowed her virgin krantz, her maid instruments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be
done? No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem in such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe, fall 10 times treble upon that cursed head whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth awhile, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile the dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made to o'ertop Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand? Like wonder-wounded hearers, this is I, Hamlet the Dane.
Devil, take thy soul!
Thou prayest not well, I prithee, take thy fingers from my throat, for though I am not splenitive and rash, yet have I something in me, dangerous, which let thy wiseness fear hold off thy hands.
Pluck them asunder!
Good night! Oh. I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What would thou do for her?
Ah, he is mad, Laertes.
Show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself, drink up eyes, I'll eat a crocodile, I'll do it. Dost come here to whine, to outface me, with leaping in her grave. Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us. Hear you, sir, what is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever, but it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
Pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Laertes, was your family dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself your father's son in deed more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place, indeed, should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should have no bounds. Good Laertes, we'll put on those shall praise your excellence with the sword, and set a double varnish on your fame, bring you together in a match and wager on your heads. Hamlet, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the swords, so that with ease, or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it, and for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank so mortal that but dip a knife in it. No medicine so rare under the moon can save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
We'll make a solemn wager on the cunnings. And when in your motion you are hot and dry, and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice, whereon but sipping, if he by chance escape your venomed thrust, our purpose may hold there. Strengthen your patience. We'll put the matter to the present push. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
So much for this, sir. Now shall you hear the other? You do remember all the circumstance?
Remember it, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting which would not let me sleep. Our indiscretion sometime serves us well, when our deep plots do pall, and that should learn us there's a divinity that shapes our end, rough hew them how we will.
Yeah, that is most certain.
Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me, in the dark groped I to find out them. Had my desire, fingered their packet where I found Horatio. Royal knavery, an exact command not to stay the grinding of the axe. My head should be struck off.
Is it possible?
I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, an earnest conjuration from the king, that on the view and knowing of these contents he should the bearers put to sudden death, not shriving time allowed.
How is this sealed?
What, even in that was heaven ordinant. I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of that Danish seal. Folded the writ up in form of the other, subscribed it, gave the impression, placed it safely, the changeling never known.
So, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They're not near my conscience. Their defeat does by their own insinuation grow.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not think thee stand me now upon that he that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes, thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cousinage is not perfect conscience, to quit him with this arm, and is not to be damned, to let this canker of our nature come in further evil?
It must be shortly known to them from England what is the nature of the business there.
It will be short, the interim is mine. But I am very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself, for by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his.
Peace. Who comes here?
Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly?
No, my good lord.
Thy state is the more gracious, for 'tis a vice to know him.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart you thing from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit.
My lord, your majesty bade me signify to you that he hath laid a great wager on your head. Sir, newly come to court, Laertes, believe me, an absolute gentleman.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
Of him, sir?
You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is, sir, I mean for his weapon. In his merit, he's unfellowed.
What's his weapon?
Sword and dagger.
That's 2 of his weapons, but well!
The king, sir, hath laid, sir, that within a dozen passes between yourself and him, he should not exceed you 3 hits.
How if I say no? Sir, I will walk here in the hall. It is the breathing time of day with me. If it please his majesty, let the swords be brought. The gentleman willing, and the king hold his purpose, I will win for him if I can.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours.
This lapwing runs away with a shell on his head. You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. Thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart, but it is no matter.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is't to leave betimes?
Come, Hamlet, come. Take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. But pardoned, as you are a gentleman, this presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done, I here proclaim, was madness. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. I do receive your offered love like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely, and will this brother's wager frankly play. Give us the swords, come on.
One for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir?
No, by this hand.
Give them the swords, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds of the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both. But since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This one's too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These swords have all a length.
Aye, my good lord.
If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath. Come, begin, and you the judges bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
One.
No.
Judgment.
I hit a very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay. Hamlet, this pearl is thine.
I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Woo! Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
Our son shall win.
Here, Hamlet, take my napkin. Rub thy brow. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will. I pray you, pardon me.
It is the poison cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
And yet, it is almost against my conscience.
Come for the third, Laertes, you but dally. I pray you, pass with your best violence. I'm sure you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on.
Nothing, neither way.
Have at you now.
Part them! They are incensed!
Nay, come again.
Look to the queen now!
They bleed on both sides. Help us, my lord.
How is it, Laertes?
Where's a woodcock to mine own springe, Osric? I am justly killed by my own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, no, the drink, the drink. Oh, sweet Hamlet, the drink, the drink. I'm poisoned.
Oh. Oh, villainy. Oh, let the door be locked. Treachery, seek it out.
Oh, it is here. Hamlet, Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour's life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poison. The king. The king's to blame.
The point, and venom too. Then venom to thy work.
Treason! Treason!
Here. Thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this potion, follow my mother.
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor mine on thee.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. Wretched queen, adieu. You that look pale and tremble at this chance, so I could tell you. But let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause a right to the unsatisfied.
I never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
As thou art a man, give me the cup. Let go, by heaven, I'll have it. Oh, good Horatio. What a wounded name shall I leave behind me? If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, in this harsh world, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. What warlike noise is this?
Young Fortinbras, with conquest comes from Poland. Give this warlike volley.
I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. I cannot live to hear the news from England, but I do prophesy the election lights on Fortinbras. He has my dying voice, so tell him with the rest of the occurrence, more and less, that have solicited. The rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Why does the drum come hither?
Where is this site?
What is't you would see? If aught of woe or wonder, cease your search.
This quarry cries on havoc. O proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell, that thou so many princes at a shot so bloodily hast struck?
The sight is dismal, and our affairs from England come too late. The ears are senseless that should give us hearing to tell him his commandment is fulfilled, that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Where should we have our thanks?
Not from his mouth. Had the ability of life to thank you. But since so jump upon the bloody question, you from the Polack wars and you from England are here arrived. Give order that these bodies high on a stage be placed to the view. And let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. So shall you hear of carnal, bloody, and unnatural acts, of accidental judgments, casual slaughters, of deaths put on by cunning and forced cause, and in this upshot, purposes mistook, fallen on the inventors' heads. All this can I truly deliver.
Then let us haste to hear it, and call the noblest to the audience. For me, with sorrow, I embrace my fortune. I have some rights of memory in this kingdom, which now to claim my vantage doth invite me. Let 4 captains bear Hamlet like a soldier to the stage, for he was likely, had he been put on, to have proved most royally. And for his passage, the soldier's music and the rights of war speak loudly for him. Take up the bodies. Such a sight as this becomes the field, but here shows much amiss. Go. Bid the soldiers shoot.
I'm Jeffrey Stegall, an associate professor of theater arts at Bob Jones University. If you're a high schooler interested in learning more about theater and drama, you may not realize that BJU still has openings in several camps this summer. To learn more about the drama and Shakespeare camps, visit bju.edu/summercamp. My staff and I would love to see you at BJU in a few weeks. There's a whole new lineup of activities and performance opportunities that will challenge and inspire budding artists.